This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 6, she calls it a slap on the wrist. The Indiana National Guard's top leader resigns, and now a former contractor is telling her side of the story only on RTV6.
Another day of gunfire in Indy, including separate shootings wounding 2 children on the east side. Working for you, we look at the efforts to tackle violence in that area.
And trying to get the next generation interested in a traditional Hoosier career. We're live this morning on how young people are learning how to make a living by working the Hoosier land. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Indiana. I'm Rafael Sanchez in for MB. Meredith Barrick should be back tomorrow.
Yes, and I'm Lauren Casey, and we have Todd Clausen with us this morning talking about some changes in the forecast, and they're welcome changes. Todd, as we were coming in today, we said it feels pretty nice outside.
Yeah, when you walk out, yesterday it was like, humidity, So today it's not as bad, and it just gets better as the day goes on.
Okay.
One little minor issue here this morning is a little bit of patchy fog that we're dealing with, and it's not terrible in downtown Indianapolis. And you can see here from downtown as you look to the north, there is a little bit of haze out there downtown, but as I go over to the visibility map, anytime you're down below 1 mile, that's when you start to run into some issues. So Lafayette over towards Muncie, and these visibilities are going to fluctuate a little bit. So if you live north of I-70 and then over towards the Richmond area where obviously 70 goes through, just give yourself a little bit of extra time there as you're dealing with some patchy fog. That should burn off pretty quickly once the sun starts to come up over the horizon. 67 right now in Tipton, 69 in Indy, 69 as well in Bloomington. Once we get rid of that fog, we're dealing with mostly sunny skies here this morning. It does turn partly cloudy this afternoon with just a very, very small chance of a quick passing shower. If you do see it, it'll be very, very light. Otherwise, a decent day for us here, Lauren, with a high temperature of 85 degrees.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Here's a live look right now at a backup we're monitoring here on the east side of town. Westbound lanes of I-70, crews have been working in that area, and it's slowing down traffic, as you can see here on the screen. So just give yourself extra time heading in from the east side. Let's take a look right now at our traffic now map. Good news for drivers and Fishers. This exit work has wrapped up at this hour at 116th Street, so that is back open this morning. And just a reminder for you, as you're heading out the door, we still have this closure on the southeast side of town. Avoid I-465 and give yourself extra time to take that detour route.
The time now is 6:02, and a former contractor with the Indiana National Guard is speaking to RTV6 following the resignation of the Guard's top leader.
The governor announcing this week that he asked Major General Courtney Carr to step down. We spoke with a woman who filed the lawsuit against Carr this month. Sherry McLaughlin says that she does not want us to show her face because she's scared for her safety. She says when she spoke up about sexual relationships involving Carr and a subordinate, she says she was retaliated against. In her lawsuit, she says that Carr got her fired from her next job as well.
What is your reaction to Carr resigning?
I was shocked. I, number one, didn't think it would happen, especially this quickly, but it also struck me as odd that he's retiring with full benefits, and it's not really a slap on the wrist for him at all. He loses nothing, meanwhile I lose everything.
Sherry hopes her lawsuit prompts changes at the Indiana National Guard. We reached out to Carr's attorney for comment, and we're still waiting to hear back. The Indiana National Guard issued a statement saying, quote, the Indiana National Guard as a whole prioritizes its care for uniformed and civilian personnel within the organization and continues to be ready and reliable force supporting its communities, state, and nation.
Lauren, new this morning, Metro Police are looking for suspects in 2 more shootings in the city, which happened within the past 8 hours. First, around 9:45 last night, police were called to Community Hospital East after a person arrived with a gunshot wound. That victim, we're told, is in serious condition, and so far police have not said where that shooting may have taken place. Then, less than 3 hours later, officers were called to a home on North Bradley Avenue, you see there, near East Michigan Street and North Sherman Drive. And that shooting victim was taken to a hospital and is expected to recover. So far, no arrests have been made.
Well, 2 more shootings earlier on Tuesday sent a 2-year-old and a 17-year-old to the hospital. Activists are working on a program to prevent violence and say it's evidence that their work is needed more than ever. Those shootings happened within blocks of each other. The toddler is expected to be okay. That teenager suffered critical injuries. The circumstances surrounding the shootings are still unclear at this time, but organizations like Before You Fall are there to help people who may be vulnerable to violence. The founder of the program tells RTV6 that the program helps kids take charge of their own lives.
Bring them here give them activities, try to teach them perception change, financial literacy, conflict resolution. We have a parenting element where we make it mandatory that the parent be involved. So we just not a drop-off site. We try to connect them to resources.
Well, you can find out more information about Before You Fall by going to the RTV6 app and just clicking on that story.
The time now is 6:05, and Call 6 Investigates has learned that a law firm will now investigate claims that against someone using a homophobic slur against the executive director of the Indianapolis Housing Agency. The IHA board voted to launch an independent investigation of that incident under the direction of Mayor Joe Hogsett. Rod Morgan is accused of using the derogatory slur against John Hall at the end of a meeting last month. Morgan chairs the Insight Board, which is the not-for-profit arm of the Indianapolis Housing Agency.
At 6:05, the Bloomington Community Farmers Market set to reopen this Saturday after a 2-week suspension. The suspension came due to public safety concerns after a vendor at the market was outed as a member of a white supremacist group. The owners of Schooner Creek Farms were revealed as members of the group Identity Europa in leaked chat logs. Those are from a white nationalist online forum. They were also named by the suspect who vandalized a synagogue in Carmel, according to transcripts of FBI interviews with the suspect. The mayor of Bloomington says there will be extra police at the farmers market as well as a designated area for the protesters. 6:06, careers in farming start young, and there is a program that helps students of all ages learn more about what it takes to work in this industry.
We need farmers to feed us every day, so that's a good job to have. Our Alyssa Donovan is live this morning at the fairgrounds. Alyssa has more on this worthwhile 4-H program, and she's live for us there. Fill us in, Alyssa.
So, Rafael, I am at the 4-H exhibit hall this morning where people can get a glimpse of what 4-H members have been working on throughout the year. There are projects in here ranging from aerospace to woodworking, a little bit of everything in here. We also talked earlier this week with kids involved in the livestock project. Now, those kids say 4-H has changed their lives.
Tobin Smith is preparing his swine for competition at the Indiana State Fair. The teen has been involved in 4-H for 10 years.
It's been a family tradition, and there's very good aspects of 4-H that I enjoy.
He says it's taught him a lot of life skills.
Patience, responsibility, learning to deal with loss and how to deal with winning.
A sentiment shared by Mallory Bowers.
It teaches you a lot of different life lessons, so it helps you later on.
The 4-H livestock program teaches youth about agriculture and sportsmanship. It also builds character and creates discipline. These teens are completely responsible for their livestock, and showing them at the state fair is a proud moment.
I've always loved animals, so showing livestock and running around the industry just kind of came with it.
Those involved say 4-H is a life-changing program.
If we didn't have 4-H, I don't think I'd be the person I am today.
And it can set a child on a path to success at a young age.
There are good career paths that you can build off of. Showing livestock or even doing poster projects that involve you with some sort of agricultural science.
And 4-H is available at more than 90 counties across Indiana. And they have programs throughout the year. This is just when they showcase many of their long-term projects. And students can start 4-H as early as 3rd grade. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
All right, thank you, Alyssa. The time now is 6:08 as you walk out the door this morning. Some of you need to use a little bit of caution, and you'll be dealing with a little bit of patchy fog. It's not super widespread across all of central Indiana. In fact, downtown's not bad. Bloomington, you're in good shape. Where the visibilities are reduced are to the north and off to the east. So Muncie, Lafayette, Richmond, you'll have to deal with some fog issues for your commute into work. One of the issues we are not dealing with, though, today is the humidity. Yesterday, we were kind of in the very muggy category, especially early on in the day. The needle's been falling backwards, so we're in the comfortable category for today. So that's good news, and it will continue to get more and more comfortable as the day goes on. So skies are clear. Once the sun comes up, we'll have mostly sunny skies. We'll burn that fog off, and then eventually this afternoon we turn partly cloudy with very seasonable temperatures today as we'll top off in the mid-80s.
Todd, thank you. Stunning allegations this morning against one of the biggest stars in the history of opera. What he's accused of doing and how the music world is reacting today.
Plus this week, as you know, Hiring Hoosiers focusing on getting the next generation ready for the workforce. Coming up, how your kids can learn how to make a career out of talking to animals. You could be an animal talker. How about that?
How about that?
Hey.
Here at 610, we do have some delays coming in from the east side. Look at the westbound lanes there by 70. It's a parking lot out there, and it's all due to construction. You can see it there on your screen, blocking some travel lanes. So give yourself some extra time heading in from the east side into downtown. We'll continue to monitor this and keep you updated on the other side of the break.
Financing for 60 months on select 2019 Atlas models.
Welcome back. The time right now is 6:13, and we're monitoring a backup here on the east side. Take a look at all those headlights. The westbound lanes of I-70 here at Sherman Drive. You see the construction workers blocking a few travel lanes there on the left side. The traffic is scooting over to the center and right lane. So give yourself extra time heading in from the east side. The opposite direction getting heavier as well, as that is part of that detour route. We'll keep you updated. Well, we now know how child sex trafficking suspect Jeffrey Epstein took his own life in prison. A law enforcement official told ABC News that Epstein hanged himself with a bedsheet. This morning, the New York Times is reporting that the two staff members at the prison who were supposed to be guarding Epstein were sleeping on the job. The Times also says the guards later tried to falsify records to cover up their mistake. The two employees have been placed on leave, and the warden of the prison has been reassigned. We're also learning more about an associate of Epstein's, Ghislaine Maxwell. The woman who previously settled a lawsuit in the matter says Maxwell recruited her and others girls to be teenage sex slaves for Epstein.
Training started immediately. How to be quiet, be subservient, give Jeffrey what he wants. A lot of this training came from Ghislaine herself.
Maxwell has denied any wrongdoing, but her whereabouts right now are unknown. Also on Tuesday, federal agents raided a private island owned by Epstein as they continue their investigation.
The time now is 6:14, 69 degrees out there. The world of opera has been rocked by sexual misconduct allegations against one of its biggest stars. At least 9 women have told the Associated Press that Plácido Domingo engaged in sexual misconduct, with many more people backing up their allegations. Today, the Los Angeles Opera says it's investigating the claims against the 70-year-old singer who founded the group and who is still its director. At least 2 orchestras have canceled concerts they had scheduled featuring Domingo. Domingo has been married for more than 50 years. In a statement, he says he felt that, quote, all of my interactions and relationships were always welcomed and consensual, but he also said it's painful to hear that I may have upset anyone or made them feel uncomfortable, no matter how long ago and despite my best intentions.
It is 6:15, taking a turn now. Pets can certainly be considered part of the family, right?
Right.
So, of course, you want to keep them in tip-top shape.
Keep them happy, right? Whether it's your cats or your cows, right? That could be family. Purdue University is showing kids what it takes to become a veterinarian. Our Hiring Hoosiers initiative is all about connecting you to jobs and research and training. Our Erin Lish has the best job this week. She's at the Indiana State Fairgrounds, showing us how kids can get classroom to career ready. And now, Erin, to become an animal whisperer. Yes? No?
You know, I'm not Dr. Dolittle. Even though I do talk to my cat, I really don't know what he's saying. Sometimes I think I know what he's saying. But, you know, there's so many different animals here. They have all of the cows, all of the llamas, all the pigs, and all of these animals need to be taken care of. And that is the job for all of the Purdue veterinary students here. And for your kids, they can get on the action here at Vet Camp. So the people that you're about to see in the video, the professors and those students, they are in charge of these vet camps. So they have the junior vet camp for those middle school students, and then they have the senior vet camp for high school students. And they get to experience what a vet would be like, including practicing surgery skills by suturing up simulated incisions, looking at x-rays to learn what's inside of our furry friends. And for those senior campers, they get to see a live spay or neuter on a dog for those animals at the animal shelter that need to get that done to find a forever home. And students from the College of Veterinary Medicine say this is a pathway to vet school and a career option for the future.
It can go as far as birds and fish, and people don't realize that, from cattle, fish, to pigs, to cats and dogs. So it's a very encompassing career that it can fit a lot of different people and a lot of different interests.
time at vet camp here at the fair is actually running out. Kids in middle school have tomorrow and Saturday, and then high school students have 1 day left on Saturday to do vet camp. You do need to register. It is about 2 hours long, and if you can't make it, they actually have a week-long vet camp over at Purdue, so you get a better taste of that veterinary world. And coming up in the next half hour, we're going to hear more from those vet students. I didn't ask them if they've met any horses named Mr. Ed that are talking, but you never know what happens here at the fair. Back to you in the studio.
All right, Erin, thank you so much for that report. Well, hey, we have a reminder for you. If you are looking for some part-time work, maybe in an entertaining atmosphere, you can head on out to Bankers Life Fieldhouse later today. Pacer Sports and Entertainment is hosting a job fair from 4 until 7 o'clock this evening. You can apply and meet with supervisors on site. Positions are available in the box office, team store, production crew, public safety department, and more. Here at 618, we want to let everyone at home know that we do have about 15 school delays rolling in. Yes, right now. This is due to the fog. Todd's been telling us about it this morning. That includes Rossville, Rush County Schools, Delaware Community Schools. So you can find them all in the app and at the bottom of the screen. But Todd, can you tell us a little bit more about the fog that's out there right now?
Yeah, so fog to the north and east of Indianapolis, all those locations that you just mentioned. Officially, we have a dense fog advisory for Wayne County, Fayette County as well on the far eastern side of the state until 10 a.m. Those counties get issued out of the Cincinnati office, and that's why there's only a couple counties there, even though we have fog everywhere. So you notice this visibility map, and essentially where you see the gray is where the fog is. Not much of an issue in Indianapolis, but here in Frankfort, we're down to just 1/10 of a mile visibility. That does include I-65 there as you make your way through Clinton County, down to 0.8 of a mile in Lafayette. A little better than it was in Fishers. Earlier you were down to 0.5 mile. Now you're a little over 1 mile, but here Muncie over into the Richmond area. Lauren mentioned Rushville. As you work your way down towards the Connorsville, Rushville area there, we're dealing with visibility down below 1 mile. So you just got to give yourself a little bit of extra time. Now you notice a few things here as you look from downtown to the north. You notice one, that the visibility isn't as bad. Just a little bit of haze out there. There's a little bit of patchy fog, but not super thick. But at the top of your screen, you'll notice the blue skies. So as soon as the sun comes up, it'll start to burn that fog off pretty quickly here across central Indiana. That is the good news. And our day, once we get rid of that fog, is pretty much great for everybody. Mostly sunny skies. The humidity is a lot lower, and that humidity will continue to get better as the day goes on. 69 degrees with that dew point of 68. So 68 starting to get more in that comfortable range. But look what happens to those dew point temperatures throughout the course of the day. They continue to fall. You get back down to about 64 degrees as you head into the evening hours. That is a very comfortable number. So we're in the process still today of kind of changing the air mass out, going from that very unsettled pattern and the stormy pattern that we had Monday and into the first half of the day yesterday. So skies are clear across much of Indiana. We start off mostly sunny. Eventually we do turn it partly cloudy this afternoon and cannot completely rule out the chance of just a quick isolated passing shower as we get into the afternoon hours. Just a little disturbance sliding through. If you do see one of these showers, it should be very light, it should be very brief, and it's only probably about a 10% chance you see that shower threat. So do not cancel your plans throughout the day today, because as a whole, once we get rid of the fog again this morning, we are dealing with good conditions and temperatures that eventually climb up to right around 85 degrees for your afternoon high. That is very seasonable. Your Thursday forecast, it's a bit of a cooler start in the 60s, but highs eventually get up to right around 80 degrees with partly cloudy skies. And I do think tomorrow is probably the best weather day that we have for the week, with the cooler temperatures and the low humidity, because the heat that starts to build back in for the weekend, as high temperatures will once again be right around 90 degrees, partly cloudy skies, and just a chance of a few isolated storms. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Here's a live look right now on the east side of town, where we have some traffic delays in both directions. Really, what you're looking at in the headlights, that's the westbound lanes heading into downtown from the east side. We have construction in that area. You can see it at the bottom of your screen, blocking 2 lanes of traffic, slowing things down. So just give yourself extra time. It is moving more slowly. And then the other side of the screen, where you're seeing the tail lights, it's just moving a little bit more slowly due to the detour route for the 465 closure. So give yourself that extra time as you're heading out the door on the east side. Let's take a look at the delays right now on our map. Again, this is due to that road work. It's happening on the westbound lanes just before Rural Street on the east side, and it is backing up right now, getting close to Shadeland Avenue. So we'll continue to keep a close eye on this morning and keep you updated. And keep in mind, we do have school delays due to fog, so use those low beam headlights.
About 15 school districts all on a 2-hour delay. Everything right now on the RTV6 app. We'll keep you updated throughout the morning. The Trending 6 up next on Good Morning Indiana, and we'll show you the woman who was not expecting a bath at the ballpark. We'll explain this coming up next.
Now at all Kohl's stores. This weekend at Kohl's.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Monitoring a major delay here on the east side. The westbound lane stop and go due to construction. And you can see drivers are trying to get over right now, but it's quite a mess. They're having to squeeze all the way over into one right lane. We know there's construction in this area, but we'll monitor if anything else is going on because you can see this is kind of a mess, just a parking lot out there. So give yourself extra time. Maybe avoid I-70 and take Washington Street instead if you're coming in from the east side of town.
And of course, the fog causing some delays for 15 school districts, 2-hour delays, mostly north of Indianapolis. If you head over right now to the RTV6 app, you'll have a complete listing of all 15 school districts that are impacted as we speak.
Well, before you head out the door, we want to tell you it is time for the Trending 6.
And this morning we start with a graphic warning of the dangers, as you know, of distracted driving. The police department in Berlin, Massachusetts released this video. Take a good look. Watch this now. The car going along the highway, when it goes straight into that utility pole and just flips over. Police say it was all because the driver was texting while at the wheel. Fortunately, that driver was not hurt, which is the good news, but they did get a citation for breaking the law. Do not drive and text, please.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah.
Okay, a craft beer company's new offering didn't even last until the November rain. The lawyers for Guns N' Roses had enough patience, apparently. They have welcomed a craft beer company to the jungle of the legal world. There are reports that Oscar Blues Brewery will settle a lawsuit filed by the rock band. It's because the beer company made a new brew in the spring called Guns N' Rosé. Guns N' Roses took them to court for the trademark infringement.
You got to change the spelling. You got to change
it up a little
bit. Make it different. We don't know if it was as tasty as Oscar Blues beer, but a woman lost her drink. Did you see that? In a unique way. There you go. Oh! And that's the Reds' Arestis Aquino Nunez fouls a ball straight back. Luckily, the protective net saves the woman, but it does not save her beer, which probably cost.
How about that?
That beer probably cost like $30. I hope she got a new one.
Oh my goodness.
She's okay though. She's okay though.
That is the good news.
Thing. Yeah.
Well, it is a big change for the NFL. The league had previously discouraged players from protesting for social justice during the national anthem. Well, now the NFL is partnering with Jay-Z's Rock Nation. The league says it will enhance its live game experience and amplify its social justice efforts. Rock Nation will also advise the NFL on performances, including the Super Bowl. Perhaps that means another Beyonce halftime show is coming.
On it. That's what I'm talking.
We'll see.
Yes.
Can you imagine somebody today earning $9 an hour?
It don't make no sense.
They may have been in a nail salon, but the presidential campaign of Bernie Sanders is hoping his serious talk with Cardi B will get the attention of some young voters. The Sanders campaign and the hip-hop star shared video from the interview on social media. We'll see what happens.
Well, the campaign at the Iowa State Fair wasn't all about stump speeches. South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg was asked by a 4-year-old boy to go down that giant slide alongside the boy and his mom, and he did, as you can see there. Also, we're learning at the fair, courtesy of political reporter.
Right, that looks easy because that could have gone all kinds of ways. So luckily,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So luckily, it was okay.
All is good. And we know that the food that Buttigieg had at the fair, a whole list of things he had was, let's see here, root beer float, pork chop on a stick, gizmo, sausage sandwich, bacon ball BLT, fried Oreos, chocolate milk, and a slushie.
And an Imodium after eating all that stuff.
Oh, that sounds rough.
That's all good food.
Tried everything.
Forecast kind of shaky. We have schools, districts on delay because of the fog.
Yeah, some patchy fog out there, mainly to the north and to the east. We'll talk more about this fog and the rest of your forecast coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues.
Ways to save and get smart.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 6:30, Classroom to Career is part of our Hiring Hoosiers initiative, dedicating to helping you and your kids find the best path forward. This morning, we're showcasing 2 programs that you could find this week at the Indiana State Fair. Time right now, 6:31 on your Wednesday. Thanks for waking up early with us. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Rafael Sanchez in for Meredith Barrick. We do begin with breaking news, and that is the fog is causing a delay for thousands of kids north of Indianapolis. Of course, your family, your kids are a priority every morning. So let's begin with you. Fill us in on how this fog is impacting thousands of people north of Indy.
Yeah, so the visibilities have been fluctuating, and that's the thing. You may think it's fine, and then 10 minutes later, the fog rolls in. So if you're in northern communities, obviously with the kids out at the bus stop, give yourself some extra time, slow down. And then as you take to the roadways yourself, and just know as you cross maybe 5 to 10 miles, these visibilities are going to be a lot different. So up to the north we go, Crawfordsville down to 0 miles visibility. So that's going to be an issue through Montgomery County there on I-74, down to 0.2 mile in Frankfort. Zionsville 3 miles. That's come down a little bit. The dense fog advisory still in effect over in the Richmond area. You notice visibility in Muncie down to about 0.2 mile, and the visibilities have dropped down in Bloomington as well. One of the areas where we're not really dealing with dense fog is here in downtown Indianapolis. You can see the visibility reduced. The fog is trying to settle in, but you also notice to the top here, blue sky, and the sun is going to start to burn some of that fog off pretty quickly here as we work our way throughout the course of the morning, now that it's getting higher above the horizon, although sunrise officially not until 6:56 here this morning. So eventually we'll go from mostly sunny to partly cloudy this afternoon. It's a decent day for us. The humidity continues to drop with high temperatures that'll be in the mid-80s. Lauren.
All right, Todd, we do have a traffic alert for drivers heading in on westbound I-70 from the east side, trying to get into the downtown area. You're going to run into this. Take a look at your screen. You see all the flashing lights there, traffic having to squeeze all the way over into one right lane. This is due to construction blocking 2 left lanes of traffic, and then we also had a semi-crash that happened after that in this same area. So you can see you're going to have to squeeze all the way over. This is creating a big backup. It's backed up right now all the way to I-465 on the east side. So give yourself that extra time heading in from the east side. Maybe take Washington Street as a detour.
We'll keep you posted on that traffic situation. The time now is 6:33, and Classroom to Career is part of our Hiring Hoosiers initiative, connecting students with programs that could lead them one day to the job of their dreams.
Yeah, and this morning we're highlighting one of the largest youth development programs in the nation, and it's preparing Indiana students for careers in a wide range of topics. Our own Alyssa Donovan joining us live from the Indiana State Fairgrounds this morning. Alyssa, tell us a little bit about 4-H Club.
So I am actually right now, Lauren, in the 4-H exhibit hall this morning, and I'm in the woodworking section. Look at this. This is where 4-H members get to show off some of their projects, and check this out. This is a ping pong table made completely out of wood. That is just one of the ways that students can get involved and learn some of those important life skills. Now, another project that is highlighted at the fair are the livestock projects. Members involved in 4-H that compete with livestock are responsible for taking care of the animals, keeping them healthy, and preparing them for shows, as well as picking the right animals. I spoke with 4-H members who have been involved in the program since they were young kids. They say along with these important lessons, 4-H also helps build character, teaches responsibility, leadership, and business skills, noting that people involved in the program have a lot of options for their future.
4-H is a very good gateway into the agriculture industry. There are good career paths that you can build off of. Showing livestock or even doing poster projects that involve you with some sort of agricultural science.
Now, there is no limit to the number of projects that members can be involved in. So if they want to try livestock and environmental science projects, they can do both. And the 4-H exhibit hall is open to the public. There are some hands-on activity for kids to do if they want to come and see what 4-H is all about. It is available in 92 counties across Indiana. Now, I'm told that each county does 4-H a little bit differently, so kids can get a bit different experience depending on where they live, but they can start as early as 3rd grade and start building some of those life skills. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you so much. It is 6:36. Okay, Raphael, you have college-age kids. Did they ever ask you for a dog or a cat?
No, we had rabbits, but I'm sure they wanted a dog or a cat until I reminded them that they would have to either care for the cat or walk the dog.
A little bit of responsibility, right?
Well,
now kids can learn about taking care of animals. They can even spark an interest in maybe a future career.
And so the Purdue College of Veterinary Medicine is bringing their students to the state fair to give your kids a glimpse into the vet world. Our Aaron Lish is at vet camp where kids are getting classroom to career ready.
So here at Vet Camp, middle school students and high school students, they can learn a bunch of different skills. They do mock surgeries, they see x-rays, and they even see live surgeries here on our furry friends. And talking with students from Purdue's College of Veterinary Medicine, they say this is a great pathway to vet school as well as to a future career. And in the process, they are also learning here at the fair.
And so we'll listen for heart and lung sounds on both sides of the animal.
Purdue University students hoping to become veterinarians are getting firsthand experience checking on the cows at the fair.
So it's getting that client communication. It's also doing education to the public about veterinary medicine and especially animal agriculture.
For some students, this has been a lifelong passion.
Raising cattle in southeastern Indiana really was where I started my love for animals.
So where do you start if you want to become a vet?
So the big thing would probably get a relationship with a local veterinarian and spend some time with them if they can. Shadow a local veterinarian, kind of see what veterinary medicine is all about.
After 4 years of undergrad, you'll need 4 more to become a veterinarian. But there are other options that take less time, like becoming a vet technician, wildlife rehabilitator, or even an animal therapist.
We want to make sure that that stomach, that chamber of your stomach is functioning properly.
There's a wide variety of options in animal health care.
It can go as far as birds and fish, and people don't realize that, from cattle, fish, the pigs, the cats and dogs. So it's a very encompassing career that it can fit a lot of different people and a lot of different interests.
So time is running out here at Vet Camp. They actually have 2 classes left for middle schoolers. That is tomorrow and Saturday. And for those high school students, they only have Saturday left. It's a 2-hour camp, but they do need to register. If they miss out here at the fair, they actually have a week-long camp over at Purdue. So kids get a better taste in becoming a vet in the future. And coming up tomorrow on Good Morning Indiana, we are talking with students about the HVAC industry and what that means for them. But for now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Aaron, thank you so much. If you're looking to learn more about these career programs or any other job opportunities in Central Indiana, our Hiring Hoosiers Facebook page is a really big help. That's where you can find more posts from prospective companies looking for new employees and all of our other Hiring Hoosiers stories. It's all just a click away for you on the Hiring Hoosiers Facebook page. But now, as we're getting into the morning rush hour and kids getting ready for the bus stop, Raphael, we do have several school delays for the fog.
Yeah, this is really breaking news. Developing as we speak. We have about 28 school districts that are currently being delayed. A 2-hour delay impacting thousands of young people north and east of Indianapolis because of fog. And as Todd has mentioned, it's spotty in some areas, but nonetheless, it's impacting a lot of families this morning.
Yeah, so you want to check the RTV6 app, also the bottom of your screen for all the details. We have Muncie schools, some in Anderson, some in Rush County, so kind of all over the place.
So just keep that in mind. We'll keep you posted as this changes. Our Todd Clausen working the maps, working the radar. He'll have an update here in the next few moments. Now back in the news at 6:40. Parents making their voices heard after a family speaks publicly to RTV6 only, accusing a Hendricks County football coach of sexual misconduct.
Our kids are more important than the school board, and when it comes to their safety, they better start paying attention, because we got a lot of upset parents that will not stand for no action.
At the Tri-West School Board meeting, parents, students, and other concerned members that you just heard, they asked about the status of Tyler Bruce. Call 6 Investigates first reported last week that he's on paid leave pending the outcome of a criminal investigation regarding the allegations made by a student, a 17-year-old student there. Many people questioning the way the district is handling this case.
Unfortunately, our school system does not have the proper protocols that we need. There's also comments of this happens to every single school system. Well, let's be proactive and make sure it doesn't happen anymore in our school system.
I just want them to investigate it more and, really get down to the dirt on it and just, get all the facts, all the evidence, and do the thing that's right.
The family of the student who spoke to RTV6 is filing a tort claim against the school corporation, saying that Bruce intimidated and threatened the teen when she tried to end the alleged sexual activity. Bruce denies the accusations.
At 6:41, the Colts releasing more information on Andrew Luck's injury that was sparked by comments made by Colts owner Jim Irsay. The Colts general manager Chris Ballard says the team had ruled out a bone issue, which the Colts owner alluded to in a national radio interview. Instead, the focus is on the front of his left ankle, which is likely irritated after his lower calf issue back in March. The big question, of course, is will it impact him being ready for the season opener?
If you're looking for part-time work, you'll want to head down to Bankers Life Fieldhouse later this evening. Pacers Sports and Entertainment will host a job fair from 4 until 7 this evening. Positions include the box office, team store, production crew, public safety department, and many other positions there. The time now is 6:41, and Todd, it looked like a slam dunk day until that fog rolled in, and now 28 school districts declaring a 2-hour delay.
Yeah, but it's only a temporary issue. That is the good news. A lot of this fog will burn off as we work our way throughout the course of the morning hours. Within the next 2 to 3 hours, probably not too much of an issue. So the numbers you see here, those are the official numbers that come from the airport readings. So you see a quarter mile in Lafayette as well as Muncie, but once you get away from the airports, especially these darker shades of gray, that's where the visibility is even reduced closer to basically nothing. So if you're up in the Lafayette area, say the Muncie area, then down towards Rushville, towards Richmond, that's where you have to use the most caution. It's not as much of an issue right now from Indianapolis down towards Bloomington over towards Columbus, but these visibilities, they've been fluctuating, so give yourself a little bit of extra time. A little bit of a change in the dog walking forecast. We actually got a big old cat here to feature this morning, Charlie Brown, but Sophie says the cat they throw the leash on likes to go for a walk, so we figured we'd throw him in there. And as far as the forecast goes, starting off with temperatures in the 60s here this morning, eventually going into the mid-80s later on this afternoon. We'll talk more about your extended forecast and look ahead to the weekend coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Well, an investigation is underway this morning after someone fired shots at ICE offices in Texas. The details we're learning as police try and figure out if this was a politically motivated act. It's 6:43. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Budget at Ross. Yes for less.
And welcome back. We are monitoring some school delays, something you may not expect here in the middle of summer, but this is due to the fog.
28 school districts now declaring a 2-hour delay, mostly north and east of Indianapolis. Our Todd Clausen, who's not only our meteorologist, but our scientist in the morning, explaining that all the saturation trying to burn off is not being able to burn off, caught in fog, causing the delay. You want the scientific reason, but of course, parents just want to get the kids on the school bus, make sure that the big cities that are being impacted include Muncie and Newcastle, Rushville, and Greenfield, the Eastern Hancock School Corporation. There are a number of others. On the RTV6 app, we have a complete listing for you, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, and they're updating in real time, so keep checking back in.
I know families are wanting to get the kids off to school, but safety is the most important thing. In the news this morning, as we now begin at 6:46 today, a Stockholm, Sweden court is scheduled to hand down a verdict in the ASAP Rocky's assault trial. The rapper and 2 other American suspects were released from custody earlier this month following a 3-day speedy trial for a June 30th fight. The prosecutor said he's seeking a 6-month sentence. Rocky, he maintains he acted in self-defense. President Trump has publicly pushed for Rocky's release.
At 6:46, an Ohio teen is in custody this morning, charged with making threats against federal authorities. Police say that he had more than 24 guns and thousands of rounds of ammo. Federal authorities charged 18-year-old Justin Olson of Boardman, Ohio, with threatening to assault a federal law enforcement officer in an online post. Well, when the authorities served a search warrant on his home, they found more than 10,000 rounds of ammunition and 25 guns, including an AR-15. Olson remains in custody pending a detention hearing set for Friday.
This morning, the FBI investigating a shooting that happened at ICE offices in Texas, and police say they believe the offices were targeted. Shots were fired at 2 buildings associated with Immigration and Customs Enforcement early Tuesday. No one was injured in the shooting, but there were people inside at least one of those buildings. The FBI is processing the crime scene and looking at surveillance footage. Officials believe the suspects specifically knew which offices ICE is using. Federal authorities say they believe the current political discourse could lead to more attacks.
Now to some weather. This morning we're in the cleanup process and it's continuing for people living in one Illinois community. A confirmed tornado touched down there on Monday night. That tornado was spotted near the small town of Assumption, Illinois. The powerful storm ripped the tops off of several trees and flying branches tore holes into roofs. Thankfully, no one was injured by this storm and crews are still working to clean up all of the downed trees and limbs today. Well, back here at home in Indiana, we're not dealing with storms. We're dealing with a little bit of fog, but then we have a nice day on tap.
Of course, with the fog is impacting thousands of kids this morning. That's our focus this morning. Todd, fill us in as we're looking really at a good day after the fog, but the fog getting in the way of school transportation this morning.
Yeah, you know, sunrise hasn't even happened yet. Yeah, the skies are starting to brighten. 6:56 is official sunrise. And so once that sun gets over the horizon, we'll start to be able to burn some of this fog off. But you probably have to give it another 1 to at least 2 hours for that fog to be completely gone across the area. Now, there is a dense fog advisory for Richmond over towards the Connorsville area. Those advisories issued by the National Weather Service office out of Cincinnati. The National Weather Service office in Indianapolis did not issue a dense fog advisory, so don't get too caught up whether you're in the advisory or not, because visibilities are actually even lower outside of the advisory area. Notice Crawfordsville here down to no visibility, only 0.2 of a mile in Lafayette, 0.1 of a mile right now as you make your way into the Frankfort area. So obviously that impacts Interstate 65, Interstate 74, and then as we slide off towards the east, visibility down to 0.2 of a mile right now in Muncie, 0.3 of a mile in Connorsville. I-70 really impacted by reduced visibility. So the bottom line is you just got to give yourself a little bit of extra time. If you live in some of the communities where you are being affected by this fog, make sure you watch out for those kids once they do head out to the bus stop after the 2-hour delays for some of the school corporations. Here's the view in downtown Indianapolis, and you can notice the fog starting to settle in a little bit more. If you've been with us here throughout the course of the morning, our visibility was a little bit better earlier. So even in downtown now, the visibility are starting to get reduced just a little bit. And here's why we're dealing with this fog. 69 degrees, that is the actual temperature. The dew point temperature is at 68. So the closer the actual temperature and the dew point temperature are, the closer to complete saturation in the atmosphere. And especially the areas that saw the rainfall yesterday, you have all that moisture in the ground, and that's why we're dealing with this patchy, dense fog across parts of the area. Temperatures in the 60s for almost everybody. A few 70s out there in Terre Haute as well as Muncie. The humidity has come down as well and will continue to fall throughout the day. That is the good news. So a little bit of a speed bump, yeah, here this morning with this patchy fog, but it eventually does turn into a pretty nice day for us. So mostly sunny skies once we get rid of this fog, turning partly cloudy this afternoon, but we can't completely rule out the chance of a quick stray shower that'll slide through the area during the late afternoon, early evening hours. Nothing to hamper any plans. Do not cancel any plans because I mentioned the rain shower chance. It's only about a 10% chance. The Indians game should be just fine. It's a 1:35 start here this afternoon with temperatures eventually climbing up into the 80s. And then another thing you can do this evening, head to the Indiana State Fair and you are in great shape. Temperatures falling into the 70s. The humidity continues to drop. It's very, very comfortable, and tomorrow's a terrific day for us. We'll have to be on the lookout maybe for a little bit of patchy fog again tomorrow morning, but highs tomorrow only right around 80 degrees with the sunshine before the heat, and humidity builds back in once we get to the weekend with highs, Lauren, that'll be near 90 degrees.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Traffic alert right here for drivers heading in from the east side. You can see all the flashing lights. The traffic is being squished over into that 1 and 2 right lanes here. This is westbound I-70 near Arlington Avenue. We know we had construction in the left lanes and then a semi-crash, and that's what's causing these issues. You can expect traffic to be backed up all the way to I-465, and it looks like right now they may even be closing the interstate. So this is something we're going to be following throughout the morning, and of course we'll keep you updated. Well, in the state of Indiana letting down low-income parents? That is the question after a new report. Take a look at the rising costs of child care at 6:52. We'll be right back.
Years and counting on RTV6.
Welcome back at 6:55, and we're monitoring fog for parts of our area for your morning drive, and this is causing at least 30 school delays at this hour. You're looking live right now at I-65 south of US 52. You can't see anything here from this camera due to the fog as you're heading to northwest parts of Indiana. Rossville schools, also Clinton Prairie schools, those are on delay. Just a few to mention. They're all on the RTV6 app and scrolling at the bottom of your screen, but we are updating this list in real time.
I was going to say we're going to keep an eye on this, but we can't see anything, but we will track this throughout the morning here on RTV6 and the RTV6 app. Now it's 6:55. A federal inspector general's report says that most states are not meeting the government recommendations for helping low-income families afford child care. The Child Care Development Fund is divided among states to help low-income families pay for daycare, and states are in charge of how that money is spent. The report says that many states are not paying child care providers a high enough percentage of the total amount they charge the family. The gap means that families pay more and some are pushed out of what they can afford.
At 6:56, we're inching closer to the final days of the Indiana State Fair, but there is still plenty to see and do if you're heading out there. Tonight, Boys to Men, performing on the free stage at 7:30. Wow, Indiana State Fair. In addition, there will be a celebrity milking competition at 11:30 this morning. There's also a chance for your kids to meet Wonder Woman, so lots to do. The championship rodeo is also tonight, 7:30. The Indiana State Fair does wrap up on Sunday, so if you want to head out there, be sure to get out there soon. Very exciting.
Wonder Woman and Boys to Men.
I know.
What a combo. And then you have Todd Clawson. What a trifecta.
Yeah. I am not in the celebrity milking competition.
Oh, man.
So I didn't get asked this year. All right. Visibility an issue for us. We've been telling you about all the school delays. These visibilities will probably continue to fall in some areas for the next couple minutes or so. And then once we get past another hour or two, we should start to burn some of this fog off. Sunrise officially just happened. So be aware of that. Reduce your speeds there. No visibility in Crawfordsville right now. About 2/10 in Muncie as we work our way throughout the day. Today, though, eventually becomes mostly sunny.
Our priority are those school delays. We'll keep on track of that throughout the morning, throughout Good Morning America, and of course on the RTV6 app.
And of course, we're going to be back right here in 25 minutes and all throughout Good Morning America with your traffic updates as well. And here's a live look view to the north. Good morning. We hope you have a great day.